Hey everybody, David R. Becker with BeckerArt, and today we're going to be talking about how I want to build my custom palette for watercolor, and so that I will finally be happy with a watercolor palette after buying probably every single kind of palette that's out there and using every single palette that's out there. Today I want to just show you what I'm going to be doing and building in the future, and hopefully you can build one yourself too. I'm not going to manufacture them. I'm just want to do one of them, one or two of them, and I'm going to show you. I think the idea is going to be great. And so normally, let me just explain about watercolor palettes, why I don't like them. So a lot of them, they come, these big palettes, these huge palettes that come in there. They're white and they're, they crack all over, and they're very cheap palettes and stuff. And then when you open them up, there's a lot of room for paint and stuff, and that's all great. But I can never move these paints around. Once I put them down, they're stuck there forever. And most of the palettes of watercolor are like that. And you have to scrape the things out, and I hate scraping that stuff out. So these are not great palettes. I never liked them, but that's the only thing that was out there that really fit on my desktop. But as I went out, started plein air painting, I realized I can't use these. These are way too big. They're just too big, and the shelf that you have on your tripod is usually this. This is my tripod easel, and that my little shelf that I have in there, and inside I have a palette that I made myself out of a tin, pencil tin. Got the idea from one of my students, Dawn. She did something like this, and there's all kinds made like this, and this is a smaller version made by Soho Urban Artists, and they do the same type of thing. And this is exactly what I would like to do, but these are so small. These are small pans. I think these are full pans. There's half pans and full pans, but they're just not big enough for my big 1 1/4 inch brush. And I would have to refill this a real lot, because this already I fill up a lot. So I made this one by hot gluing things in there, but what I don't like about it is that there's hot glued in. So I cannot take these out and move them around or switch them, or if I'm out one day and I want to use more warm colors, or I just want to have a new color brought into my palette, I have to squeeze it out or kind of rip it out there now because I hot glued it in. So what I also noticed that there's a lot of palettes out there that are, foldable, and I couldn't use those because again they're too big, and then I can't fit them inside this thing here, and they fold, and I don't really need them to fold, and it's nice that they're smaller than like that, and that's good for studio paintings, which I don't mind at all. But I still couldn't switch the colors around until Holbein made one, and that's probably the best palette out there right now is the Holbein palette. And they make two different sizes. They make these two different sizes, and these are just again foldable palettes, and they have their little pans or whatever, and the pans are two different sizes. You can get a big pan or a small pan, and you can buy extras of these so that if you don't use a certain color that week or that year, or if you find some new colors, you can put it in and take the other ones out. See, they just pop out. They pop out, and you clip them back in, and there's two different sizes. So that was a really kind of cool thing that they made. The only thing I didn't like about this, again, it was too big or too small, and I needed to fold it, so I was like, I really don't need to fold it. I really don't want to fold it, and I want it to fit inside my this plein air palette. So this one probably would have been if I would have chopped them off. If I would have chopped off the top, it probably would have fit in here. But see, it would have probably fit in there if I chopped off the top here and just cut that out away and stuff. But now my colors are all kind of separated from each other, and it's like I didn't understand why they didn't ask an artist to design this palette, because why would you put two colors on different sides, and so when you close it, it becomes upside down. And so then when I'm carrying this box too, or if I close it and I'm carrying it around, all that stuff will go into the tray here, and this stuff will go into this tray when it's wet, so I was like, why don't you put it all the colors on one side? So again, it was the best I could find, and I really like these palettes, but it was not exactly what I wanted. And so finally, when I made this one out of the pencil tin, and then put these lip balm things in there, I'm thinking, well, I should do something like that. And then when I went on a workshop, not workshop, but I went on to these two plein air events, and what happened was I needed two palettes because I needed to ship one ahead of time. And so I made this one that's kind of like this, but a little bit smaller because I don't want to pay for the shipping of this really heavy, because this is pretty heavy. And I really don't need this many colors either, and so this is less colors, but it didn't have a place to paint. And so when I put it in here, I put plexiglass underneath there, and that gave me an idea. It's like, wow, okay, I put plexiglass down, and I sprayed the bottom white. So then I thought to myself, well, why don't I make a whole palette out of plexiglass and find something that's a plastic version of this lip balm pan. And so last week I had asked you guys on my YouTube channel, or actually in my newsletter, can you find me, anybody know of anything that's this? And so you guys found it. You guys found, and these are called, I think, Gansai Tambi or something like that. It's an Asian paint that they put these things into. And I think someone put on this side or this side. This is a deeper side, but I would use this. So then I went out, got those. I found those on Amazon. And so I found these. The links will be in below in the description. And then I went and bought some white plexiglass instead of having to spray paint it. And then I also figured out myself, well, I have to probably cut off edges so I can make an edge on it. And so I found a YouTube channel showing me how to glue, not even glue, but weld plexiglass together. And so you use this, it's called Weld On. And I'll also have that in the descriptions. And I'm going to take these little strips and put them on top and weld them all together so they have a little bit of an edge. Like the John Pike palette has like kind of an edge on it. But then I'm going to take these, and what I'm going to do for these is I'm going to put them down, but I'm going to take a little bit of hot glue, just a little bit, enough to just keep it right there, wherever I'm going to post them. I'm going to leave it there, but then I'll be able to not put a lot on there so that I can't get it back off. But if I just put a little tab of it on there, just to keep it in place while you're painting, and these are all together anyway, so it's not going to move. But when you want to take it out, you just take it out and then rub off that, because it's plastic, so you can rub off the little bit of hot glue that you put down, and then I can put in different colors in there. So I think this is going to be really, really great. I'm really excited about this. So first I got to figure out how I'm going to cut it. I'm going to cut the plexiglass, and I do have a table saw, so I'm probably going to do it with that. I did scar one time, but then I have to make sure, because it's just a little thin strip, that I break it all together with one sweep or one little crack. And so I can do that too. I'm not sure though, that gives me a really straight edge on there. Hopefully it will, because then I'm going to weld it together to the other parts. So that, this, and the weld. So right now all I needed was that. Those three things. And I bought, this came in 39 of those. And again, I'll put the links on there. And thank you so much for the people that emailed me back. I had at least 30 people email me back about different ways to find this or make this with 3D printer, and actually make this whole thing with a 3D printer. But I think this plexiglass will be fine, because it would take a long time to do the 3D printing, I think, for this whole sheet. And I know it comes really flat too, but this is already there, so I'm thinking this could be pretty interesting. And it's not going to be like it's notched in or anything like that, but just a little bit of hot glue, I think, will just keep it there for a little bit, and then I can pop it out and just take that off, put new hot glue down, just to put it back in there. So that's what I'm thinking. And so I will try to do this. I'm going to film it all so that you can make your own too. And because you may want to have not this size, because maybe your box is bigger, or maybe your studio has a little spot, a little desk, or a tabaret that has a certain size, and you want to make a certain size palette to that. That'd be great, because this plexiglass comes in many different sizes of white. And even if you use clear plexiglass, you could always spray the bottom with paint on the opposite side so it shines through, right? Because it's clear. So that's my thing this week. And I'm very excited about it, because I'm finally getting a customized palette for myself that I've been working on for many, many years. And so hopefully this will all work. And I definitely think it will, because I already have this one and I like. But this one happens to be the metal, and it's rusting, and I can't take and remove these out anymore. I use black hot glue. That's another thing. You can use hot glue. There's different colors of hot glue, so you can put in. If you don't, but on this one, I'm gonna put a little bit of just regular hot glue and just pop it down there. You wanted to have it steady, because a lot of times these things fall, or the wind took my once and blew it over, and all the paints went everywhere, and they were magnetized with magnets on the tape magnets, and it didn't work. And so this hopefully will work, and I'll keep you informed on it, and I'll show you everything that I'm doing. I'll film everything that I do when I'm getting this all together, and you can make your own. All right, so we'll see you on Thursday for our paint along. I'll see you then. Bye bye.